Welcome to Beyond the Order. My name is Corey, and I will be taking care of you today. If this is your first time here, I just want to say welcome to the restaurant. No, really, this channel is all about the psychology behind hospitality, how to read people, how to communicate, and how to elevate your service in a way that actually makes a difference. And today I want to do this video a little differently than I have done in the past. This one, I just want to kind of do more of a talk where I had a situation that happened yesterday, and it's kind of sat with me all day yesterday, a little bit today, and I thought it was really important to share. And no script. Yes, I use some scripts, even though they're all real things and things. I just put it in a little formula. Anyway, let's talk. So no hook, just straight into it. So yesterday I am taking sorry about the movement. I'm trying to figure out this angle while I'm in my car. So yesterday I am going to take my daughter to school. Back at the beginning of the month, I got a traffic violation ticket, which we won't get into. But anyway, I'm going to take that to court. So I called the courthouse yesterday, and it's really hard to get a hold of these people. Like, they're always really busy, phones are busy, and I get it, and they're dealing with a lot of people. So I'm like, look, I'm going to call them ASAP. Like, I'm going to call them first thing in the morning. So yesterday I get up, we're going to school, and they open at 8 a.m. So I'm like, I'm going to call them. So I call them, and in the interaction of me calling them, my daughter starts talking, and so I quickly give her a hey, but it was like a very abrupt, like, hey, I'm talking, I'm on the phone right now, like, hey, can you just but I couldn't explain all that to her. So as I'm like, hey, the lady on the other end, customer service, she answers the phone, and my response was, I'm so sorry that abrupt hey wasn't for you. My daughter just started talking, and that wasn't for you. My apologies. Good morning. How are you doing? And without taking a breath, the lady on the other end goes, what can I do for you? And I was like taken back. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I literally just said to you, good morning. How are you doing? And it was just a cold, and I get it. Like, you're dealing with a lot of people, but it's 8 a.m. You haven't dealt with that many people, but also at the same time, I don't know what she was experiencing, how the rest of her morning was. And so I kind of let it be. But then as I'm trying to set up this court date, each response and each answer from this lady was just very cold and abrupt and rude, and just each thing. And so at some point I just stop and I go, I don't really understand why you're being so rude with me. And then she goes, excuse me, I'm not your child. And which I never said. And then goes on to explain how I answered the phone with a hey, and then I'm trying to explain to her why I answered that way, because my kid was in the car and I was really talking to her. And anyway, it really just kind of put me in this weird mood, because I feel like customer service and interaction should be, at least initially, there should be this good communication back and forth, right? And I get it. Like, sometimes I'm having an off morning, and I may be at work, and I may feel off, and I may had a bad day, but the way that I show up, the way that we approach our tables, like, that's important. Like, it's important that we understand that at the end of the day, though we make money from that this is another person with emotions and feelings that are in front of us. And so continuing, I am talking to this lady, and I'm just so annoyed. I'm so frustrated. And then I take my daughter to get donuts before school, and I shouldn't have because we're rushing, but I'd already promised her that I would do this. I wanted to keep my word. And then she's just kind of lollygagging a little bit. And then so I find myself getting frustrated with her. And then that mood of the energy that this lady in customer service kind of put off, that I'm taking it and I'm putting it onto my daughter, and she's about to go have a full day at school. And then I left, and I felt so bad because, one, like, I really dislike the interaction that I had with the customer service lady. Like, I really feel like it's important how we show up. But I also felt bad because then I passed that energy on to my daughter, and I kind of felt convicted about that. And how does this all relate to the service industry and hospitality and communication? And I think it's that instead of me just reacting the way that the lady reacted to me, because I don't know what happened within her day. I don't know what her morning was like. I don't know if her boss got onto her. I don't know if she had a situation with her spouse, with her kid. Like, I have no idea. But then that rubbed off onto me. And then instead of me learning to step back, instead of me just stepping back, I reacted as well. And I think it's important that when we are in these situations before we are interacting with our guests, that we learn to step back and we learn to breathe and we learn to kind of take a self-analysis of where we're at, so that when we approach our tables, that we're not giving half energies, or we're not giving the worst version of ourselves. We are showing up to the best ability. I had a girlfriend years ago, and she had made this comment, and it stuck with me. I think she made this comment back in like 2010 when we were together. And this is before I'd really started to do really deep work. And she goes, you and your brothers, you all love misery. And whenever you're miserable, you expect everybody else to be around you to be miserable. And that hit me so hard and I looked, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. And so ever since then, I've tried really hard and done really hard work to make sure that the way that I show up, the way that I present myself, the energy, even if I'm having an off day, that the people that are around me, that whether it's the lady on the customer service call, or my daughter, or the table in front of me, the guests in front of me, that I'm showing up in the best way that I can show up. Anyway, that was just my thought. Y'all have a blessed day. Until next time.